a mannequin that I use as a no mask, meaning that you can alter her emotional aspect and her psychology by altering the light and the angle in which you move her. And so the idea was to coax as much human emotion out of her as more like as a still life. And so in a way, my attempt was to maybe coax more human emotion out of an inanimate object that represented a human, and to have the humans who modeled with her to actually affect the pose of the mannequin to actually become more of a simulacra than human.
And tell me about the mannequin.
Well, so Jody Smalley is one of the models, and Jody is, as you can see in the picture above here.
She's one of the models.
Yeah, she's one of the models, and she is affecting the posture of a mannequin over here. So she would be an example of going the opposite way, of taking a live human and then putting a mask on the human, and having the human emulate the mannequin. And that also means like mimicking the hand gestures, which are like mudras, right? So you notice when she's modeling, she's doing her hands in a very particular way, because there's a sort of a restriction to how mannequins can move their hands, right? They don't have the flexibility that we have. And so I would say that's one layer. There's also a psychological, historical layer to my work, but I guess I don't talk about that much. Ultimately, I think my work is about simulacra, which is anthropomorphic representations and or any kind of representation of human or animal form in automata, sculpture, anything that would be a representation, but a three-dimensional representation of a human or an animal figure.
And give me your name.
My name is Jazno Francoeur.
And how do people get a hold of you if they want to find out about your next exhibit?
Jazno.com.
Okay. And give me a few examples. So these are your work.
Yes. So this would be an example, as I mentioned, of a this particular piece here would be a mannequin and a human, and then we come to the upper piece, and she actually, it's like paper dolls. She actually is half mannequin. Her legs are not real, but her upper body is human. And then same thing with this figure here. This is another model. And so her face is a mannequin's face, and her bosom is a mannequin's bosom, but the rest of her is actually real. And the idea was that the more that she interacted with the mannequin, the more she subsumed the mannequin, and then the mannequin subsumed her. And also in the series, there's I use a lot of mirrors. So if you see here, in both the upper series and the bottom series, is about 10 different mirrors that I'm using at different angles to get into, again, that kind of psychological headspace of the transformation. This piece in the middle is called Annunciation. So there's stylistically, it's a pan to Caravaggio. There's a lot of referencing of like Renaissance art, extreme dark and shadow, dark and light. Now this series down here specifically is all along the wall, going all the way down. This series is Pioneer Square. Underneath Pioneer Square, the underground. So this is Veronica superimposed on different aspects of the underground. So all of these are pieces from, and I'm sure you've done Seattle Underground?
I have an office down here.
Well, there you go. So
I have an office in the Pioneer Building.
So you're probably very familiar with these environments. And so yeah, the whole idea was to make sure that she looked like she actually belonged in the environment, because I shot her separately from the environment.
Wow. And then I think it's really cool how that picture has a crack down
the middle, which kind of
and
almost
this has a crack.
It's kind of a weird happenstance.
Yeah. And then that is
But that's not surprising. I understand there was an earthquake here back in 2003. I wasn't here, but someone told me there's an earthquake, and maybe that's where some of this came from. But this seemed like the perfect place to hang this particular show because of that, because it's an older building.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And thank you for being on my show, Public Interest Issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.